Hi everyone, and welcome to the Fake Love and Flying Monkeys podcast. My name's Nova Gibson and I am your host. My area of expertise is in supporting victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse and other toxic relationships. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling Service, and I'm also the author of Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about everything from the initial pink cloud you find yourself on at the start through to the horrific discard and the powerful trauma bond that keeps you hooked. So take your imaginary seat on the roller coaster that is narcissistic abuse, and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. What is the number one thing that we want from someone we love when we've been hurt by them? Well, the number one thing you want from that person is to understand that their actions have repercussions, and the repercussions of their words and their actions were that they hurt you. And most of the time we can expect from the people in our life who may inadvertently hurt us because of whatever's going on in their life, or they just didn't understand that what they did, what they said would hurt us. What we can expect from those people is a sincere apology, number one, and remorse. We expect those people in our life who have empathy to strive towards never doing that thing that hurt us again. We feel comfortable in talking to them about our feelings because we know that the people who love us unconditionally would never intentionally continue to hurt us. And certainly when they found out that this thing really did hurt our feelings, that they would experience some remorse, some regret, because they had the capacity to reflect on their behavior. Now, sometimes in a relationship with someone we love, we experience communication issues. Perhaps you've been together a long time, you've got kids and you've got jobs and everyone's so busy and you're not seeing each other as much as you used to, and you start to take each other for granted and you are not considering their feelings like you used to, and you inadvertently hurt the other person. And it's at these times that couples, family members will seek counseling with a relationship therapist, someone who will help them to address the way their behavior, their words, their actions are hurting the other person and really having a negative impact on their life. So for those of you who have attended counseling with another person, with a loved one, or particularly with the narcissist in your life, you will most probably remember the counselor setting up a situation where both parties could express their feelings in a safe place where the counselor would mediate so you could express your feelings to your loved one, to your partner, uninterrupted, and perhaps the counselor would get your partner or your loved one to repeat back to you what you said so that you would know that they actually heard what you said. But having your feelings validated is not just about the other person hearing what you said. It's about getting the other person to understand your feelings. Now, I don't think I have supported in my counseling practice one single person who said that going to counseling with the narcissist was a positive experience for a number of reasons. Well, the narcissist doesn't think there's anything wrong with themselves. So the only reason they attend counseling is to re-traumatize you, the victim, and of course to manipulate the counselor, who is not always aware of who they're dealing with, which is really easy to do when you really don't understand the dynamics of this type of abuse. So thinking they've got, a normal couple where both people want to work on the issues and get back the loving bond, they will typically ask both parties to express their feelings, and hopefully with a mediator who can also reflect back to your partner what you've said, but perhaps in a different way that your partner might understand a bit better. They will make sure that the person you're attending counseling with has not just heard what you said, but understood the impact of their behavior. In other words, they've not only heard and acknowledged your feelings, but they've really, really understood them. So the narcissist goes to counseling to manipulate. And what they're doing in that situation is they're gathering data. So here you are being asked to express your feelings, pour your heart out by a professional who is telling you that that's the right thing to do. And normally it would be. But when you are dealing with a narcissist, what happens when you open up, perhaps about things you've never felt safe to tell them at home when you haven't had a mediator there? What happens? You give them weapons to use against you. They are listening very, very carefully to you pouring your heart out, expressing how much they've hurt you, expressing your feelings. And what do? They store that information for a rainy day and use it against you at a time when they need to use your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses as some way of punishing you and to open up those wounds and make them more painful than ever. But they'll also twist your words into some way of making them the victim and what you're saying to be a lie. In other words, they'll engage in what we call DAVO, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. That's an acronym, a very important acronym to remember in the context of narcissistic abuse recovery. You pour your heart out, you express your feelings to a narcissist, and they will flip the script and make you out to be the villain in this relationship and, of course, re-traumatize you. Now, of course, when you finally have your light bulb moment, or before you've had your light bulb moment, you will know. Your instincts are telling you that it is not safe to express your feelings with the narcissist, and you are conditioned to avoid trying to make them accountable because the word salad and the deflection and blame shifting, etc., are just too exhausting. So they condition you to just let their behavior slide. In other words, they remain unaccountable for their actions, and you are taught to never try and talk about your feelings because you know it will just end up with you feeling crazy and them walking away, perhaps accusing you of wanting to start an argument all the time. Well, we know now that that's gaslighting. That's a setup where they engage in such crazy making behavior when you do try and talk about your feelings. But then when you start to react and become frustrated because they're just not getting it, they walk away and once again flip the script because you're reacting appropriately. You're getting frustrated because they're just not getting that 1 + 1 = 2. They absolutely do get it, but they want to blame you. But they walk off angry because you're wanting to start an argument. Again, all of these things serve to condition you to subconsciously know that talking about your feelings with this toxic person in your life is far from safe. Not only is it not safe, it's dangerous. How many times do I hear from my lovely clients, the victims of narcissistic abuse, telling me that they were advised to write their partner or their loved one a letter, pouring out their heart, telling them how they're feeling, telling them what the narcissist, or now they know them to be a narcissist, what they did to you and how they made you feel. Now, once again, getting back to a normal relationship with someone who is a non-narcissist, someone who perhaps you've just drifted apart from, someone who really does have empathy, that would be a positive step most of the time. Maybe they had just been too busy and they just didn't realize how you were feeling, and really pouring out your heart on paper can be just the trick to really get them to reflect and experience some kind of remorse and understanding of just what you're dealing with. And of course, to make sure that they don't hurt you again in that way, because someone with empathy can put themselves in someone else's shoes. And once you make it clear to that person, if for some reason they have drifted apart and they've been too busy to consider your feelings, now they know, and hopefully they will do everything to make sure that they don't hurt you in that way again. But that's a healthy relationship. And when I say healthy, I know that people have their problems in relationships, and sometimes going to a counselor and having that third person there can be just the trick to get back to that place where you can reignite the love and the bond that you have with this person. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, as I just said, pouring out your heart to them, telling them how they've hurt you is dangerous, and it gives them weapons to use to hurt you again. So in this episode, I want to give you 5 things that the narcissist does or feels when you tell them that they've hurt you, which is what you're doing when you're expressing your feelings. You're telling them that this is not good. What they're doing has consequences and they're not good, and you'd like them to stop doing what they're doing or to change their behavior. And what does a narcissist hear when you say something like that? All they hear is that you're criticizing them, and a narcissist cannot stand criticism. They have a hairline trigger for real or perceived criticism, and they will punish the offender. They will try and heal the wound that they felt that you created when you criticized them. The first thing that I'm going to speak about that the narcissist feels when you tell them that they hurt you, the first thing is power. They feel powerful. A normal person would be sad. Someone who loves you, I'm talking about someone who loves you unconditionally, would naturally feel sad. They would feel bad that they hurt you. A narcissist, on the other hand, feels powerful because they're actually setting out to hurt you. The love bombing is finished. That's gone. You will never get that back with that person. all you will ever see is breadcrumbs of that nice treatment, because they can't be abusive 100% of the time, and they need to throw you breadcrumbs to keep you hooked. So they intentionally hurt you. Remember, negative attention is just as potent supply as positive attention. So the narcissist intentionally inflicts pain. And I know that that's the hardest thing in the world for people to wrap their head around, because it's something that you wouldn't do to someone else, because you are the opposite of a narcissist. You have empathy. But a narcissist sets out to hurt you because your pain is their gain. When you're hurting, it makes them feel pretty darn powerful. If they can bring you to tears, if you are telling them that they had the power to make you feel so bad, that's an ego boost to them. And unlike you, it makes them feel good. Number 2 thing that a narcissist will do when you tell them that they've hurt you, they will actually sneer at you. Your pain is justified because you deserved it. And if you're trying to make them feel bad because you, in their mind, suffered the consequences of your actions, they perceived criticism from you, or they hurt you to punish you, or they were simply bored, whatever they did that caused your pain was justified. You deserved it. And now you're trying to get accountability from them. That makes them sneer at someone's pitiful, pathetic attempt to get them to be accountable for something they either didn't do or something they did, but you deserved. That sneer can send chills up the spine of a victim, because someone sneering at your pain is someone who is evil. But when it's coming from a person that you love, it is more destructive than sometimes anything they can do. They are literally sneering at the fact that you're hurting. Number 3 thing that the narcissist does when you tell them that they've hurt you, they store that information away. Just as I said, occurs in the counseling session. When you tell them that they've hurt you, what you're telling them is that, you know, that thing you did to me when I was in a lot of pain and I was trying to just get you to say sorry and get some responsibility going on there. Well, you're telling them that they were successful. So they store that information away and they think, that really worked. Now I know what to do again. Next time I want to hurt them. Only next time I'm going to make it hurt twice as much. You're actually giving them a high five. You're rewarding them for hurting you. Of course, this is not your intention. You're trying to get them to stop hurting you. But this is the way the narcissist feels. They basically say to themselves, yep, good on you. Job well done. Tick. That was a successful mission, and now I know that this technique works, and I know to expand on this strategy when this person deserves to be punished again. Number 5 thing that a narcissist does or feels when you tell them that they've hurt you. Sadistically, the narcissist feels energized. Isn't that sick? It is so sick, but it is so true. your pain, especially your pain that is the result of their intentional actions, gives them a platter of narcissistic supply. It tops up their ego and they feel energized. They're raring to go. And it's at those times, if you look back and reflect on the most painful experiences in the relationship with the narcissist, you will know that when they had hurt you the worst, they would dig the boot in and they would do anything to tear open that wound and make it so much worse. This is why after they've discarded you, they will want you to see them with the new target. They will set you up with no closure, making you frantic for answers. And of course, in a world of pain, as you're watching them, happy as anything with the new target, they feel energized and just full to the brim with narcissistic supply when you are in pain, which you tell them by expressing your feelings to them. They feel all of this energy, especially when they increase your pain at certain times. This is why they will choose times to discard you, or they will choose occasions to increase the abuse or the effect of their abuse when you're sick. If you're a woman, when you're pregnant, when you're trying to provide support to someone else, or when you've lost a loved one, they will discard you on or about your birthday, or just near Christmas, or at a time, maybe your wedding anniversary. They will choose a time that will sit in your memory so that for years to come, when those dates come up, you won't be thinking about what you would normally be thinking about. Maybe, the funeral and catching up with your loved ones. If it was your mother who had died, you won't be thinking about that. They will have cemented themselves in your memory banks by creating drama and chaos on those particular days. But they will choose those days that will increase the pain and will make you hurt more than ever because of this energy they get by being able to hurt someone else and make that hurt worse than ever. This makes them feel good. It's sadistic, but it's what they do. They seek out your pain and they search for the times that will inflict the most damage to give them that bit of extra boost. In essence, when we tell the narcissist how they've hurt us, when we try and talk about our feelings, which is something we should feel safe to do in a relationship with someone we love, we give them weapons. They will use what you've told them. They will use everything that they now know has worked because they were endeavoring to hurt you. They will do it again and again and again, and it makes them feel good. So we actually give them weapons to hurt us more. You all now know that this relationship was not safe. It was not safe to talk to this person, your abuser, about how you were feeling. And of course, to tell them how their behavior was impacting on the way you were feeling. That was far from safe. So it is never a good idea to tell this person whom you now know to be a narcissist, or at the very least, you do not feel emotionally safe with, it is never a good idea to tell them how you're feeling, because number one, they don't care. The only time they care is when you're giving them strategies around how they can hurt you again. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Yes, I'm sure that many of you found out the hard way that expressing your feelings to the narcissist, telling them that they hurt you, actually had the opposite result that you were after. In fact, they did nothing but look at you with disdain, and they simply took what you told them as a heads up, and they hurt you again with the information you gave them. So never tell the narcissist that they've hurt you, guys. Just empower yourself and get lots of support to leave and heal. Okay, for those of you who are wanting to have a one-on-one session with me, no matter where you are in the world, I am a professional counselor. All my sessions are online, and I'd love to support you one-on-one in your healing journey from narcissistic abuse. So just look for my website in the description, and don't forget to get your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, available worldwide and available in Audible and Kindle. And of course, don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms. And if you'd like to do something to support the channel, please, guys, the best thing you can do is to leave a review and a rating, and share. Tell all your friends, tag them. And of course, if there's something else, then please feel free to buy me a coffee. Okay, guys, until tomorrow's episode, remember, you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.